Pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum tum, pasito tum.
As I mentioned in my last review, Joker is strongly influenced by Martin Scorsese's films like Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. I already compared it with Taxi Driver, which you can find in my last video review. Now, it is time to take a look at how similar Joker is with The King of Comedy. Looking at the premise from both Scorsese's films, Joker is a mixture of these premises, one being about the dangers of mental illness and the other being about the dangers of celebrity worship. What links each of them is the loneliness they feel whenever they get rejected by the high social class, leading up to their rebellious attitude towards that system. It's funny that Robert De Niro appears in all three films, because in The Joker, it's like he is passing the torch for someone else to take the mantle of madness. So let's get this joke out of the way. Knock knock, who's there? King of Comedy, Joker. What did they have in common?
Obsession is funny!
When taking a closer look at Robert Pumpkin and Arthur Fleck's character, they both want the same thing. They want self-attention and self-glorification through the world of comedy. They both want to be comedians, but things go wrong for different reasons. Robert Pumpkin is too much of an obsessive, self-deluded nut. Arthur Fleck is a mentally disturbed man. They both obsess for a television host they admire. They even choreograph their television appearance in a moment of fantasy. But when they both face rejection from their idols, they take criminal methods to get revenge on them. The twisted side of things is they get the attention they were seeking. They become celebrities and at the end are rewarded for their actions. So generally speaking, King of Comedy is about an obsessed fan that goes rogue on his famous idol. It has the same resolution that Taxi Driver gets. Instead of the anti-hero getting punished, he's rewarded instead. However, Taxi Driver has a bigger impact for the stakes it raises. King of Comedy gives a good look at how celebrity obsession can go too far, but it feels more of a cautionary tale towards the high social class that are famous. And this could alienate some viewers because not everyone is rich or famous. Not everyone needs to worry specifically about this issue, unless you're a public figure. With Taxi Driver, this could happen to anyone, either rich or poor. The Joker balances both themes that Scorsese uses in his films so that everyone can relate to the warnings of mental illness and the dangers of celebrity worship. Pumpkin is not necessarily mentally ill, but he is so infatuated with his fantasy that he acts like if he is mentally ill. He's very naive in understanding the pressure that it goes along to accept the reality of rejection. One moment he's fantasizing of dining with the host, in actuality he's talking to himself in his department. Similarly, Arthur hallucinates things that are not there, playing to how the Joker creates multiple realities in his mind. In most cases, one of the reasons that people obsess over celebrities is due to the lack of love and attention they missed since childhood.
But as it turned out, I was wrong. That was the only attention my father ever gave me.
For Pumpkin, his parents were alcoholics as he abused his mother as a burden later on.
Mom!
Take it easy. Lower it.
I'm not gonna lower it. I have to do this now.
Arthur was abused by his stepfather, who caused him to have schizophrenia and the uncontrollable laughing condition. His mother is likewise mentally ill, so it's not a healthy relationship. Without having a parental figure they can admire, they both look for someone to fill in that role, and that is through the profession they're interested in the most: comedy. Joker and The King of Comedy can also be films that look into the dark humor of comedy. They can be an inside look that even the saddest people on the planet are comedians. It is the comedian's job to keep an eye on what's going on with society in order to get content, in which most cases our world is filled with the worst of mankind. From Pumpkin's perspective, comedy is about using our personal experiences and making light of it.
I look at my whole life and I see the awful, terrible things in my life and turn it into something funny.
Humor can come from our fears and pain. It is the comedian's job to take that pain and turn it into an exaggerated form that causes humor instead of sorrow. Once you put it in a real-life context, it no longer becomes funny. One example is when Pumpkin jokes about how he had to go through the length of kidnapping the host in order to be broadcasted on television. The audience who doesn't know finds it funny, but we who know it find it a bit dark and disturbing.
why Jerry isn't with us tonight. Well, I'll tell you. The fact is he's tied up. And I'm the one who tied him. I know you think I'm joking, but believe me, that's the only way I could break into show business.
Joker has a more distorted view about comedy. All he's ever known is pain, suffering, and rejection due to his condition. First of all, his laughing condition is an example of how backwards he interprets humor. We laugh because we find something funny. Arthur laughs when he's in a moment of stress, depression, or anger. He's first mentioned as the Joker by his idol in a form of mockery to hurt him. For the Clown Prince, people are his jokes. Their pain and suffering are his punchline.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy.
Through his dancing, he gets a sense of satisfaction in their pain when the Joker persona is fully manifested and Arthur is no more. So the way they view humor, Pumpkin uses the pain of comedy to cause humor. Joker uses the pain of comedy to cause more pain. It doesn't mean one is more sympathetic than the other. Pumpkin can be too narcissistic and self-deluded. Audiences have confused sympathy for Arthur with pity. Now there's a difference. You don't sympathize with him, you just feel sorry for how bad his life has been. And I sympathize less with him because I know what he will become in the end. One of the reasons that King of Comedy could be referenced in the Joker is the same reason that Taxi Driver is referenced, to bring awareness for mental health. Obsession can likewise be as unhealthy as insomnia or schizophrenia. Worshipping celebrities can as well be a mental disease. The only solution that these films offer to diminish these illnesses, as simple as it may sound, is through care and compassion for others at their youngest of age. Honestly, I prefer the Joker more than King of Comedy, but I would recommend to see how this dark comedian is another Joker. Let me ask you something. You wanna know why the Flash wouldn't survive in a Joker movie? 'Cause he would run out of jokes to say. Well guys, tune in next time because when I get back, I'll be counting down the top best theme scores from the classic era. So for now, that's it for today. Ciao.
Pasito tum tum, pasito tum